investigation uncovering 8 water systems across Mobile and Baldwin counties have had testing results above the legal limit for lead content.
And because we're committed to getting to the bottom of the issue, we've even conducted our own water quality testing in high-risk areas. And
on that note, FOX10 News investigative reporter Kati Weis has been working on this story. She's in the studio with that report.
Well, Bob, Lanice, after extensive research and data collection, our investigation found thousands of homeowners on the Gulf Coast could be exposed to high levels in their drinking water.
Just stay inside the lines when you come.
We don't want anything that's going to harm anybody, me, my kids, or anybody else.
Franzella Johnson lives in Bayou Battery with her 2 6-year-old granddaughters. A FOX10 News investigation found her home had more than twice the legal limit of lead in her drinking water.
When you see this result, does that concern you at all?
Yes.
Public water systems are required by law to test the highest risk homes in its system for lead. Those are homes built in the 1980s or before, which could have lead plumbing components that can leach lead into water. There are an estimated 164,000 homes in Mobile and Baldwin counties built before 1989. I researched all of the lead testing data from 32 public water systems across Mobile and Baldwin counties. And I found that over the last 3 years, 8 different water systems had homes test above the legal lead limit set by the EPA. Those water systems are Dauphin Island Water and Sewer, Foley Utilities Board, Grand Bay Water Works, Mobile Area Water and Sewer System, or MAWS, Pritchard Water Board, Robertsdale Water, St. Elmo Irvington Water Authority, and Bayou Battery Utilities. FOX10 News decided to take the investigation further and do our own water testing. We hired Analytical Chemical Testing Laboratory of Mobile to test our samples for lead. I sampled areas in Citronelle, Robertsdale, and Daphne that, according to public documents, may still have water lines with lead components. I also sampled 4 city parks in Mobile: Texas Street Park, Lovretta Park, Langen Park, and Medal of Honor Park. And I sampled areas where water systems had found high lead levels in the past: Dauphin Island, Bayou Battery, Mobile, and Foley. All samples came back safe, except one from Bayou Battery, Johnson's home. The legal limit for lead content is 15 parts per billion. The lead in Johnson's water was measured at 33 parts per billion.
Are you concerned for your little ones that live here with you?
Yes. I mean, who wouldn't be? I don't want anything that knowingly that's going to harm me or my babies.
Dr. Curtis Turner with the University of South Alabama says exposure to lead at that level can be dangerous, especially over prolonged periods of time.
It can slow the brain development by causing some toxicities, where the brain just doesn't function quite as rapidly as it would. It's a little bit of dulling.
He tells me lead can also adversely affect kidneys and bone marrow, and the effects are irreversible. According to public lead testing records, Bayou Battery Water has had other homes with dangerous lead levels. In 2013, one home tested 6 times above the legal lead limit. I asked the director of Bayou Battery Water for an interview multiple times, but never got a response. Last week, I even stopped by his office.
I've been trying to reach your director, Mr. McClintock, for the last couple of weeks, and wanted to just stop by and see if he was available.
He's not in the office.
Oh, okay.
They're paid and paid well to protect us from high lead in water. Please start doing your job.
Dr. Mark Edwards is a drinking water quality specialist at Virginia Tech University. He reviewed our findings.
Even though your 1 out of 15 was over the action level, that's not really reassuring, because for the law to work, you have to have the plumbing records. You have to know which houses have the worst lead. And if you're not sampling there, getting 1 out of 15 is bad. That can be really horrible news.
Remember, public water systems are required to test the highest risk homes in their systems in order to accurately represent the possible lead levels for all of the homeowners in the system with older lead plumbing. But we found many water systems in Mobile and Baldwin counties don't know specifically where homes with lead plumbing are located. Many local water system directors tell me it's a challenging task. Even the largest system on the Alabama Gulf Coast, Moss, struggles with that issue.
It's difficult to tell because we don't have exacting records. We did check with the Mobile building official. They didn't keep records. So there aren't any records as far as potential lead goosenecks.
Since 2012, Moss has had 4 different homes test above the legal limit, according to its documents. But Moss affirms it is treating its water with an anti-corrosive to help curb that potential risk.
It's called polyorthophosphate. It's perfectly safe to drink. We put it in a very small quantity. But what polyorthophosphate does is it coats the inside of the pipe, all of the pipes. It doesn't matter what type of pipe it's running through. And the coating acts as a barrier between the water and any lead that might be in the soldered joints or in the gooseneck.
Back in Beulah Battery, Johnson isn't so sure her water is safe. She not only worries for herself, but for her neighbors who also have older homes that could face the same risk we uncovered on her property.
I will be making a visit to them as soon as possible and finding out what I can do and what they're going to do.
So how can you check to see if your home is at risk? Well, you can buy a water testing kit at any hardware store for about $20. And if you think you may have elevated lead levels, there are some measures you can take to protect yourself. I put an entire list on our website, fox10tv.com.
So I understand you've also been checking the lead levels in public schools.
That's right, Bob. And because of our investigation, local schools are now testing for lead in their drinking water supply. And we'll be showing you the results in part 2 of this special report. That's coming up in about 30 minutes.
All right, thanks, Katie. Following the drinking water crisis in Flint, Michigan last year, states across the country have been looking more critically at the issue of lead contamination in drinking water.
School districts are starting to realize they've neglected to attend to an issue that might be poisoning students for years.
In Portland, Oregon, for example, extremely high lead levels were detected in several schools this summer. The state of New York has mandated that public school systems test their drinking water for lead.
And just last month, dozens of school systems found high lead levels in the water that students are drinking.
And lead is poisonous. It can't happen.
My kids go to school, it's supposed to be safe for water, food, and just having that water lead is just, for me, it's scary because I don't want my kids to be sick.
And in light of those concerns across the country, we wanted to take a closer look at the issue here in local schools.
And that's where our investigative reporter Katie Weis steps in. She's joining us in the studio with those details.
Well, Bob Lenise, it turns out both Mobile and Baldwin County school systems have not been testing its schools' water for lead contamination. And there is no law requiring school systems to test school drinking water. Because of our investigation, local school systems are now testing some of its schools' drinking water. And during the course of this investigation, the state has announced it will help test all public schools. Dr. Curtis Turner, a pediatrician at the University of South Alabama, says children are most susceptible to the harmful effects of lead poisoning.
The brain in children is growing at a rapid rate, so any insults that they have can affect them for life. Most of it has to do with learning. If it slows their learning down, then you have to worry about academic performance.
So, in the first week of October, Fox 10 News Investigates asked the Mobile and Baldwin County public school systems if a laboratory we hired could test some of the older school buildings that may be at risk. For weeks, there was no response. We even reached out to the State Department of Education, but still no word on testing. Finally, in early November, the superintendents of each school system emerged with an answer.
We don't test because there is no reason at this time to question any of the water supply.
Well, right now there was really no reason to test because we have no reason has been brought forward.
But they explained they would do their own testing at some older school buildings.
You know, were asking questions and we said, oh, okay, well, we can go ahead and test.
So we're going to do our testing in the schools you indicated, and then we'll give you the results of those tests.
I asked the Mobile County School Superintendent, Martha Peak, if she had spoken with the Baldwin County School Superintendent, Eddie Tyler, about the plans.
So have you been in contact then with Baldwin County schools about this issue?
I've not been in contact with Baldwin County. I really have not been in contact with anyone except our facility division and also those people who are learning about the people who are testing for us. So I really haven't discussed this with anyone.
But Tyler said they did consult one another about the issue.
Because Martha and myself have spoken about the water quality.
But why do you think she would tell me on camera that she didn't?
Well, I can't speak for that because I didn't see your report.
Confused by the different responses, I pressed Tyler further.
And I'm curious if you two were strategizing. Is this a strategy?
Wow, what a stretch. I think you're trying to make a story out of nothing. I think that's exactly what you're trying to do. Put that on air, please.
When there are states all around the country
I don't care what the other states are doing, Katie. I don't care what I care about Baldwin County. I didn't say it wasn't a story.
After our interviews with the superintendents, the State Department of Education announced it would help all public schools test for lead, even though back in October, it would not offer any assistance on testing. Mobile County Public Schools has just released its test results for 8 of its older schools. Parents and students at the following schools can rest easy knowing all the results were below the legal lead limit: Baker High School, Davidson High, Murphy High, Causey Middle, Alba Middle, Lott Elementary, and Dolphin Island Elementary. However, Mobile County has not yet tested all of its schools. There are at least 20 schools in Mobile County built in the 1980s or before that could have lead plumbing components.
Now, if you would like to see Mobile County Schools' full testing results report, I have posted it for you on our website, fox10tv.com. Bob, Lenise?
Okay, Katie, has Baldwin County released its results yet?
Well, Baldwin County Schools informed us last week that it would be releasing the lead test results on the same day that Mobile County Schools released its results, but we are yet to receive those documents, and I'll be sure to let you know when we do.